That's just sports, baby.
Crowd goes wild. Strawberry ice, bringing fire and style. Reds, Bengals, Bearcats, all in my zone. This is my stage, my mic, my throne. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy's line is kicking down the door. Step into the ring where the passion ignites. Talking sports all day and all night. From the field to the court to the roaring stands. Strawberry ice with the world in my hands. Boom, like a hammer, I'm breaking the game. Strawberry ice, you're gonna know my name. Sports Talk Thunder, hear the podcast roar. Cincy's line is kicking down the door.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, where it's hot as crap. Just got done raining, but I'm nice and cool here in the Ice Cave. And the Ice Cave is brought to you by Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Like I said, it just got done raining, so you know your grass is going to grow, your shrub is going to grow. You need that stuff trimmed. You don't want to do it. Let Priority Lawn and Landscaping do it. Give them a call at 513-430-6114. That's 513-430-6114. You can also follow them on Facebook. I always recommend that so you can see the videos and pictures of what they've done. Again, Priority Lawn and Landscaping. Give Johnny a call and tell him you heard about him from Sports with Strawberry Ice. Also, August 9th, we're doing at Moreland Lager House, we're doing the Dine for $9. So there are certain restaurants in the Cincinnati area that are doing this, and 9% of the proceeds of the food and drink you order go to the Joe Burrow Foundation. I'm going to be doing a show there for 2 hours, so I'm going to be there. So at 5:30, going to 7:30. Joe Farsi's going to be there with me. As of right now, I got Jim Breach will be there, working on a couple other guests, but make sure you guys mark your dates down for the 9th of September. It'll be awesome time. What is up to everybody in the chat? We've got let's see who we got. Scroll up here. We got Stranger in there. We got Brad in there. Mike's in there. Tony Blazing, Crypt Keeper, Jeremy Holmes, Dustin. Holy crap, you guys are blowing it up already. Natty Ron, what is up? All right, so Reds won last night, which is awesome. They scored a whole bunch of runs. So will they score a whole bunch of runs today? Will it be one run? Who knows? We got day 14, if I'm right, of Bengals Training Camp. Joe Burrow got hit, went down. Skinny off air said it wasn't that bad. We'll get to him here in a second. My point of view here is the defense looked great. Offense looked terrible. There was a lot of false starts, not a lot of deep bombs. Wasn't a great day for the offense. It happens. We're in the dog days of training camp. But you know what? Let's get to the man who actually got to see it from the sideline and not had to watch it from the bridge like I did. He is the man from Local 12 and the Skinny Podcast. Is Richard Skinner. What's up, Skinny?
How you doing, Ice?
Good, man. Good. So, just ease everybody's mind. Was the hit that bad, or what was your thoughts on it?
No, I mean, it looked like, honestly, Shamar came on a twist and looked like he kind of stumbled coming through the line, came close to Joe. Maybe he hit Joe. I didn't think he did. It looked like Joe then kind of stumbled on his own. And listen, I know offensive linemen are always going to take umbrage at the quarterback getting hit, all of those things. Yeah, I mean, that's him stumbling. He's not going to go intentionally hit Joe Burrow. If he did, again, it was again. Sometimes they're not playing half speed here now.
Right.
They're playing full speed, and you start stumbling. We've all been there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just can't stop yourself.
Especially guys my age and my size.
Well, especially a guy his size. I mean, that's
exactly.
a big boy trying to come to a stop.
And
so he went out for a couple plays. I'm going to guess coaches said, listen, man, just chill a little bit. It's all good. We're going to put you back in. They put him back in, and you knew it was coming on the very first snap. I mean, literally, I think we all watched him on that snap. He did another twist. Lucas Patrick picked him up on the twist because he was playing left end. And Lucas just kept blocking, and then they started to tussle.
you knew that was going to happen.
Right? Yeah, I mean, again, we've all seen training camp fights, if you will. Mm-hmm. We saw some real haymakers, obviously, the Rams joint practice, the Packers joint practice.
Helmet swinging.
Yeah, I mean, this was nothing close to that. You know, this was the fourth padded practice of this week. That one of the days was two of the days were lighter than others. Today was a pretty long period. I mean, they had a 30-minute, drive the field session, then another 30-minute drive the field session. So you're at that time where you're just tired of beating up on each other.
Right.
Again, the quarterback got hit. I'll give both Lucas and Ted Karras some credit. That they made a point of, hey, we're going to protect our quarterback. But the same thing, they both also said, it's up to us to block. And so there's some of that too. I mean, you're allowed to block those guys, if you will. And so, and it's a young guy. Again, the good part is no loss for anyone there. I mean, Joe didn't get hurt. Yeah. Shamar maybe learned the lesson of getting too close. I mean, would you rather him, jog through that, or would you rather him go hard? You don't want him to hit the quarterback. No one wants that. It's why quarterbacks are protected. It's why Joe wants to play in the preseason. He wants to face real guys coming at him who could actually tackle him and potentially hurt him. And you don't really face that in practice. And I think that's the thing that's always alarming is whenever the quarterback goes down, even if it's an accident, it's like, oh my gosh. And trust me, anytime Joe Burrow goes down in a practice, it's literally, oh my gosh, because we've seen it happen before. And, obviously he's had a knee injury in the past and all those things. So I think when they get back, I think you'll have, it's going to be a kind of a heavier practice I get my days mixed up, on Friday, lighter practice on Saturday. I'm going to guess you'll probably have another one or two of these on Friday when it's hot. And again, guys are beating up on each other and you don't have another game until Monday, all those things. You just as long as nobody gets hurt, everybody ends up kumbayaing this. I mean, you could tell even in the locker room, the defensive line was making fun of the offensive line. The offensive line was chirping some things back. And that's fine. That's all well and good.
That's good. You want that, I think. That's competition right there.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, I don't think there's animosity. I think that the defense felt its oats today, and good for them. I mean, it's been a weird thing because they've been really good at times in camp for a good chunk of the camp. You've seen it. I've seen it. I saw it today, as a matter of fact, and then you saw in Philly where it looked like an utter disaster. So I don't know what to make of it.
All right, so that's a good jumping off point because we had this discussion yesterday on the show, and I've been singing the praises of the secondary. I thought the secondary has looked really good.
Yeah,
and people on the chat were saying, well, they're going against Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, but they know the plays. I'm like, I don't care if Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins could go tell you the play, and they still could beat you. Yeah. So how do they go from looking so good against the elite, and then they go against the Eagles secondary and look so bad? That's where I'm like, it doesn't make any sense to me how they look so bad. I know they did the vanilla defense and everything, but they weren't even competing, it looked like.
Yeah, and I just wonder this, and I think it's fair to wonder this. I mean, there was no Cam Taylor-Britt, there was no Dax Hill. How much of a difference those guys make in the secondary? Mm-hmm. You had, on that one run play, you had TJ Slayton going in the wrong gap. You had Logan Wilson going to the wrong place, and, hopefully that's something film fixes of, okay, you know what, we screwed this up on when the run fits were terrible. I mean, we heard that a lot the last couple of years under Lou Anarumo. Hopefully this is just a very short-term thing. They didn't get a ton of snaps. But yeah, I think anytime you test any team's depth anywhere, especially in the secondary, especially at cornerback, and I'm not going to besmirch DJ Ivy or Marco Wilson didn't play, but DJ Ivy and the guys that played on Thursday, but they're not starters. I mean, they're backups.
Right.
I know if they have to play, they have to play. But in the world you're living in, and we saw it today. I mean, Cam Taylor-Britt and Dax Hill. I think the one group was those two guys and Josh Newton. They didn't have DJ Turner today. He's dealing with something at the moment, it looks like, and didn't practice much yesterday either. So yeah, I mean, I when you get into those deep parts of the corner room, that's a tough place to live. I don't care if it's Tanner McKee or Tanner Jones or Tanner Smith. I mean, that's just a tough place to live. And I know Philly didn't play their starters, and that's disappointing that your defense didn't do anything against their starters. But man, it's again, you're missing two quality corners in my opinion. I think that was a factor.
Well, I think eventually if Dax Hill and Cam can play to their potentials, you got. And I kind of said this last year, and everybody said I was crazy, but I'm not saying they're going to be, but potential number one shutdown corners. Not that they have that potential is what I'm saying.
I agree with you. Okay. I mean, Cam, for whatever reason, after that Kansas City interception, it was almost like he was hunting interceptions and really struggled with his footwork, struggled with his technique. But then if you go towards the end of the season, he kind of rectified things and got things right. Dax was playing at a high level and then he gets hurt. And so, voila. And I thought Josh had some good moments. So
I like Newton. I like Fig a lot. I like to see him in the slot. That's where I like to see him.
And I'm with you. I think that's probably where he's best suited to play. And hopefully that comes. And again, DJ Turner has upside. It's not like this was some schlup they brought him off the street as a UDFA. I mean, he was a high draft pick. He's got speed. He's got skill. He's got talent. He just hasn't been consistent. But we also saw a day last week in practice where he knocks down 5 passes, had 5 pass
Right.
breakups in a single practice. You're like, okay, I
Yeah.
see you working.
Exactly. That's where that got me excited. I'm kind of like, oh, well, he's the one I was kind of worried about. Then all of a sudden he did that. I'm like, all right. So that's where I was completely shocked as the way the secondary looked. The defensive line, that first drive, when they opened that gaping hole where you said I can't remember who you said, somebody went in the wrong gap.
Yeah, Slayton went the wrong place.
Yeah.
Like Miles Murphy got owned and got kicked out. Logan ran into the wrong gap. And so I think that's some things of still just trying to get used to what you're supposed to do. I thought Zach Taylor had a really good quote yesterday. I wrote a story on Howard Cross, the undrafted free agent tackle from Notre Dame. His dad played in the NFL for 13 years. And I'd been sitting on the story for a while because I just haven't gotten around to talking to him. And Zach was actually asked about him by Dan Horde at the press conference yesterday. And he talked about, he goes, he's just a guy who does exactly what he's supposed to do. He does his 1/11th of the job. And really that's what all coaches are looking for out of defensive guys of, don't jump into the wrong gap because you think that's where it's supposed to go. Go just do what you're supposed to do. That sounds simple, right? Because sports is a reactionary thing. I mean, you see something, you react, you're assuming your teammate's doing the right thing. And if you don't think your teammate's doing the right thing, you try to compensate for your teammate not doing the right thing. And then you're doing the wrong thing. And then it becomes a comedy of errors. And that was kind of that 38-yard Will Shipley run.
Yeah. Because, I mean, that gap was big enough you and me could run through it. I mean, it was huge.
So it's funny you say that. I can't, gosh, who asked it? I think it was James Rapine. We're sitting around in practice yesterday, and he asked a handful of us, how many yards do you think you could get on that run? I said, I honestly think I could get 15. I said, I couldn't get past
15? Really?
Yeah,
oh, dang.
Yeah,
right now?
Right now, even at my age. I said, I know I couldn't get past the safety.
Oh, God.
But he ran at least 15 yards before he even saw a human body.
That's true. That's true.
So there you go.
Yeah. As far as he went for anybody touched him, that's I can see that. I like you said, like Bengals captain. Cap's on here all the time talking about one play. I want one play, and I go out there. I said you would blow out every hamstring you have.
So did you? I don't know if you caught Zach Taylor was asked about the Cincinnati Open tennis, right? Which is an awesome event. Yeah. I used to cover it back in the 90s. I haven't been there a while. I haven't been in a while, but it's so awesome in person. I'm not a tennis fan per se, but I love the event.
It's fun to go up there. It's a good event.
So a bunch of Bengals, Zach Taylor was there the other night. Al Golden was there the other night. Some players were there, including B.J. Hill. And I guess B.J. Hill was telling Zach, oh, I can return this serve. Talking about Yannick Sinner. I'm like, dude, I appreciate your athleticism, my guy. You'd stand there and go, have you served it yet? And you go, yeah, it's behind you, bro.
Exactly. You're like, whoa, what was that?
Yep.
Well, Zach was saying he was hoping one of them were going to bounce up and he was going to move out
let it hit.
Take him right in the head.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was mouthing off, and we all do that, right? Like again, asking about how many yards can you make on there? Oh, I could. Yeah. Oh, I could hit Wade Miley's fastball.
Oh yeah.
No, you could.
No,
you could.
Very good. No. If you could, you'd be playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me get forget the comments here or too far in the comments here. Look at Dustin's up here. Richard, my opinion, the NFL is not developing league, but uses a player in the right scheme spot league. If these coaches can't get what they need from the recent picks, will they change scouting philosophy?
It's a great question. I think the position group that's really hard for every NFL team to evaluate and develop is offensive line. Mm-hmm. We think it's unique to us in Cincinnati. Like, why can't they get the offensive line right? They've been working a long time. They can't get the offensive line right. Well, there's a lot of teams in this league that don't get the offensive line right.
That's what I've been saying.
It's just I've always been a big proponent of. I don't mind the drafting of an Amarius Mims, where like you see the potential and it fits what you need, and you think you can develop him, and hopefully they can. I've always been a big proponent of listen, just give me some guys with NFL tape because they've at least shown me at the NFL level. Right. There's just the college offenses are just so different. I mean, it's so quick game. Part of the Shamar Stewart story is he wasn't very productive, but then there's a lot of quick game where he's running down guys from behind. Does he get much credit for that? Probably not. I get it. Right. I mean, he's a lineman. You want him to get sacks and tackles for loss and all those things, but the athleticism to run a bubble screen that's away from him to run it down from behind is pretty special athleticism. So yeah, I think there is some development, but I'll go to this. I mean, you have OTAs, which are very light walkthrough practices because of that's the contractual obligation, not because it's just the Bengals going, hey, it's OTAs, we're going to take this easy. No, you can't. There's things you can't do contact-wise. And then you have a few weeks of training camp, and then you start playing games into training camp. and suddenly it's the season. And in season, you're not developing anything. You may do individual drill stuff just to stay sharp and all those things, but you're in game plan, get ready for game mode. And so, yeah, it isn't a developmental league. And colleges at some positions, I mean, wide receiver today, maybe it's because there is so much passing and maybe there is more sophistication in routes. Wide receivers come in ready to go. Remember the old fantasy adage years ago, Ice, where you didn't take a fantasy wide receiver until his third year. Like, you never took a rookie. You're like, okay, here comes the guy with a third-year bump. Let's take him. Well, now it's, dude, this guy's ready to play. Let's take Jamar Chase. Let's take Garrett Wilson. Let's take player X, Y, Z. And so I think there are certain position groups that don't need that development, but there are certain position groups that do. And offensive line is just, it's hard to, I think it's really hard to go, that guy is a can't miss. Is he? It's just a hard place to live. And, some guys are. I mean, Penny Sewell was a can't miss.
Right.
He could have been here. Could have been, it was him or Jamar, right? And good for both. They're both having great careers. But it wouldn't also shock me if Penny Sewell was a bust. I mean, I would have bet on whether you needed Jamar Chase or Penny Sewell. And at the time, you needed both. But Jamar Chase was the pick, and it was the right pick, in my opinion. Jamar Chase was a ready product. Yes. You were like, this guy's plug and play. There's no doubt. Penny Sewell was, okay, I think he's a plug and play. And we're probably going to do it as a rookie. But is he? And he's developed, obviously. He's become a great offensive lineman. So it's not a developmental league. I don't know if that changes the philosophy or not, just because you have to eventually take some of those guys. Or the philosophy is, you know what, we'll draft the positions where we think guys have been developed and go get proven NFL tape on other guys. I mean, look at this offensive line for the most part. You do have a rookie, Dylan Fairchild, by default.
Who looked good.
Ted Karras has proven tape. Orlando Brown has proven tape. Alex Kappa, when he was good, Alex Kappa came from proven tape. Mims doesn't. He does now. Fairchild doesn't. So you are rolling the dice a little bit there. And again, those are from some programs that have some high-level linemen that come out. I mean, the two Georgia guys on your offensive line, that's not an awful place to be with Mims and Fairchild.
Right.
But when Volson came out, he was coming from a small school. But had some tools, and they had no choice at that time but to plug and play him. But
he beat out Jackson Carman.
Right? Yeah. No, right. I mean, Jackson Carman's a great example. What doesn't that guy have other than lack of motor, lack of heart, lack of care of football?
And how do you figure that out unless you get him in your camp? That's that heart and motor is hard. I mean, I know they say people got motors, but it's really hard to really tell that, especially the heart and motivation.
And listen, every coach thinks they can coach a guy up and make his motor. I mean, Miles Murphy's in that group at the moment of, gosh, he's big, he's athletic, he's earnest, he tries hard, he's all the things you like tangibly and intangibly, except just doesn't have much of a motor. That's not to tell. I'm not telling you he's a slacker or he's lazy. He just, what you guys know what motor is. You see guys with motor. I mean, you know what it is. And sometimes you think, I can coach it up. I mean, I got a guy in my high school basketball program at the moment, right? I'm like, buddy, I said, you do everything right except your motor. I said, my job is to get your motor running. And I think I can do it, but maybe I can't.
But maybe these guys can't. Motor's also, I put that motor and heart and motivation. That's more of in the player. That's correct. In them. I mean, yes, you can coach it up a little bit, but if they ain't got it, they ain't got it.
Right.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
And you can threaten snaps. You can threaten playing time. You can push and go, dude, if you would just do a little more of this, I can. No, I mean, he's a first-round pick. They're going to go to every nth degree to try to make this work because of the potential talent. But if it's just never going to click from a motor standpoint, I don't know what you do. You just let the contract play itself out. Hopefully the light bulb goes off. He's had a good camp. He wasn't there today, obviously, because he was injured, and hopefully that's nothing long-term, because I think he does need these preseason snaps and does need these training camp snaps. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully that light bulb goes off because, like I said, he's everything you want. He's a really good kid. He's a sweet kid. He's almost too damn sweet, to be quite frank. And, that's where the opposite of Shamar Stewart. Shamar Stewart's like, again, I don't think he was trying to hit Joe Burrow. I promise you he was not. But he was almost like, I just don't care. I'm trying to make a play. Yeah, exactly.
And that's I like that. And one point you said that I'm glad you said it, because I was saying it yesterday on the show that they are going full speed in practice. They're going as fast as they can, because that's another thing people were coming back at me on the way the secondary played. Like, well, they're playing half speed. Like, No, they're not.
No, they're not.
They're playing full speed. I mean, is it game speed? No, but it's full.
Correct.
It's as full
No,
speed as you're
that's
going to
right.
get. There's a difference.
Yeah, as
There's
we know,
difference.
no question.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
And that's where game speed is completely
Right.
different. But you're going full speed because you're competing for spots. It should translate. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it should translate a little bit. It didn't translate at all. That's where I'm like, what the hell are they doing? That's a totally different secondary that I've seen throughout all of training camp because I was surprised with them.
DJ Ivey looked like he was playing with 3 left feet. I mean, it didn't. I mean, and he's. We all wrote a story on him. I think the one day he had a great practice, and he's always probably on our radar to write a story because coming off the knee injury, didn't get a lot of chance last year because it was kind of the first time back from the knee injury and all that stuff. And suddenly you look up and you go, wow. And everybody's talked about his traits. He's long, he's athletic, he can run. From what I understand, people believe he was totally undercoached at Miami of Florida. And so, now getting some quality coaching. Chuck Birch is a great cornerbacks coach, in my opinion. And it looked like it was paying off until it didn't look like it was paying off the other night. And, maybe it was a blip. Maybe it was like first game and kind of real rep action as opposed to, listen, Chuck made a point. I guess I don't remember this. I covered the game. I don't remember this, but he talked about, big third down last year in Pittsburgh and that game they had to win to keep playoff hopes alive. Somebody got dinged and he puts DJ Ivey on George Pickens. Mm-hmm. I mean, you don't do that if you don't have confidence the guy can make a play. And he goes, he did, and he made a play.
Yeah. So, I think our secondary is going to be fine. We got to get Trey signed, obviously. I still think that's going to happen. But I had a couple questions from other people in the chat yesterday about Logan Wilson. They thought he looked slow.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, I thought everybody looked slow. So I don't know if he looked any slower than anybody else. What was your thoughts on Logan?
Yeah, I thought he did too. And I don't want to go to the nuclear option of at what point do you take a pool of when does Barrett Carter replace him? Because I'm not sure I want 2 rookie linebackers playing side by side. I think Oren Burks has a role as kind of that super sub. I think that's the perfect role for him and different sub packages. They go to 3 linebacker sets, and he's the 3rd linebacker who comes in. But Barrett Carter's flashed a lot of athleticism. He's been in the right place at the right time a lot of times. I think you give Logan the benefit of the doubt. Don't forget he's coming off of obviously a medical procedure, missed what was the last 5 or 6 games last year. So I'm going to give him a little benefit of the doubt of trying to get himself back. He's never not out of shape. I mean, the guy's in great condition, but different between.
Lou Anarumo said it the other day on the interview with Kay Adams. He's always in shape.
Yeah, no question. But to the point of whoever asked that, I mean, that was literally the observation I think a lot of us had of. That doesn't look good. And it's been that way at times in camp. He's had good moments in camp, but not as many flash plays as Dimitri Stein. And some of that is, maybe he's just the guy who's in the right place at the right time. Mm-hmm. He forces a gap that forces a back to bounce to the other gap where somebody's ready to make a play. I'm not nuanced enough. I don't watch, practice film to see that. I mean, obviously.
You don't grind tape, Skinny? You don't grind tape?
No, I'd have to grind my own tape off of that. I do grind basketball tape in basketball season, but I don't grind this tape. But I will tell you, I don't think they play Logan Wilson if they still don't believe in him. And don't forget, his linebackers coach back early in his career was Al Golden.
Yep.
I think Al clearly looked at tape of Jermaine Pratt like a lot of people did and went, I'm good. If you want to move on from him, let's fix this linebacker room. And they did. I mean, they draft 2 guys, bring in Oren Burks, 3 new bodies. And he still has been – he's talked very highly of Lowe. He talked very highly of him back in OTAs, back in minicamp. I don't think – we've only talked to Al once, I think, during training camp. I don't think Logan came up in that conversation, but I do think that's the kind of the elephant in the room of at what point do you go, it's just not clicking. Let's get another body in there again. Would it be a rookie? Would you literally go side by side rookie linebackers?
You might have to.
You might have a choice, and you may have to, or maybe Oren Burks. Is enough to say, listen, let's put him in there and let Barrett. Maybe they rotate. I don't know. Again, I don't want to go to that option yet. I'm going to give Logan a little bit more benefit of that, but it's a legitimate question because it clearly everybody saw what they saw.
But I am impressed with our 2 rookie linebackers. I think Knight has played excellent. I Barrett Carr is coming around too. Like I said, I think they are our future starting linebacker.
Agreed.
I mean, Knight's going to start. I think Barrett. He might be our starting linebacker next year. I mean, unless things go wrong.
And let's go back. I mean, Jermaine Pratt started midway through his rookie year, right? And then Logan came along, and Logan kind of sat behind Josh Bynes, and then Logan became the starter. And you had 2 young starters in 2021. Yeah. One guy in his second year, one guy in his second and a half year, if you will, third year. And I think that's kind of where it's trending. I mean, it's just time for fresh juice.
Yeah, exactly. Now let's. I got safety circled here. Now this is one. Yeah, I mean this is one where there's two moves I wanted the Bengals to do is a right guard and a safety. Add to the room. There's two guys sitting out there that they could get after what we saw this past week and training camp and everything else. Why haven't they gone out and get one? I mean, Geno Stone is literally hurt.
Yep.
So, and it's nothing against Tyson Anderson or I can't remember the other
Dejan Anthony. Yeah, Dejan Anthony.
Nothing against them. What if they get hurt? That's where I'm at. Is then what do you do? I'm like, we need another body in that room, I think.
Hey, PJ Jules might be the savior, man.
He's looked good, but
he has looked good.
I don't know.
Right, so here's what I understand. And I thought Zach kind of opened up that can on Saturday. My days all run together. But one of the press conference settings where he talked about we need to look at that safety room. Do we have enough depth?
Right.
There?
That's where I thought
it was a question.
Do something.
Yeah, it was a question. Geno said he doesn't think it's long term. I can't. None of us can predict hamstring stuff like when a dude's coming back, and it could be another 5 days.
Well, he wasn't on the rehab field. I didn't see him.
Yeah, he's been out there. I don't know what kind of rehab work he's done. I didn't see him today, but he's been out there at times. So again, we don't know that. So from what I understand, part of the dilemma is this, and Justin Simmons is probably the biggest name that's still out there.
Right.
Is he's a starting caliber player, right? Who's started in this league. Their feeling is they're not going to ask Geno Stone to play special teams. Jordan Battle has played special teams, but I think Jordan's more than entrenched as a starter.
He's looked really good.
Let's assume that Geno comes back healthy and you've signed Justin Simmons. I'm to your point. I've been on this boat since back in April after the draft. You got to get something. You need more depth back there. But from what I understand, the belief is you bring in a guy like a Justin Simmons. He's not a special teams player. Mm-hmm. Geno's not a special teams player because he would be a starter. So let's just assume Justin Simmons comes in and he's the third safety, if you will. Truly in this league, and we talked to Darren Simmons the other day, and Paul Dehner asked him, and it was a great question, of, those third and fourth safeties have to be special teams guys, right? He goes, absolutely. He goes, that's literally their job more than it is safety. Now, safety is part of their job.
Tyson Anderson, that's been his career.
That's been his career.
Right.
But again, if you bring in a Justin Simmons who is going to either balk or has not played enough special teams in his career to understand how to play it, then you're down a key special teams guy at that point. And so if you're of the belief, and I know some people probably aren't, that football is truly 3 1/3, 1/3 offense, 1/3 defense, 1/3 special teams. The snaps don't equate, right? You don't have a third of special team snaps, but it is a third of
special
game.
Teams matter. Yeah,
they do matter.
Yeah,
that suddenly you have a safety who literally all he's there for is insurance that they don't want to go that route. I'm not sure I agree with that. I don't. I mean, honestly, if you want to keep 5 safeties up on game day and 2 of them are special teams guy and Justin Simmons is your third guy or Geno's your third guy, I'm okay with that. I got no problem with that. The dog seems to agree with that. So
my dog's going nuts.
No, I mean, it's not raining, by the way. So I don't know unless it's raining on your side of town.
No, it's not raining.
It's sunny. So no,
here.
But yeah. So anyway, so that's what I understand is that's why they haven't brought that guy in. But do you want it to come to a point where there's a catastrophic injury to, let's just say Geno comes back and plays and he just obliterates the hamstring, okay, and he can't play the rest of the year? Do you want to bring a guy in game 3 and say, hey, get up to speed, my man. We need you to start? I don't know. And listen, I get they're trying these guys out. They've been rotating Tyson with the ones, Dejan with the ones. PJ Jules actually got some reps with the one on Saturday after he made an interception. And actually, he's looked good. All those guys, I love those UDFAs or the guys who've been practice squads. I think they're all great stories. And PJ was so fun to talk to the other day on Saturday. I think 3 or 4 of us did a story on him. And he was just so excited to listen. Most of these guys are not excited to talk to us. Some are nicer than others. Some hate it entirely. PJ Jules was like a high school kid, like his first time interview ever. Like, you guys are going to talk to me? Awesome. And he was so much fun. So I'm rooting for the kid. But can I count on PJ Jules to be a starting NFL safety at the moment? I'm not sure I can.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, I get all that. That's where they should have addressed it in the draft, which, I mean, again, one of the guys I think
that guy could have been a draft. I mean, that guy could have been a special teams guy. Like, son, you're a rookie. You're not going to start. You got to be a special teams guy.
Right. That's where they could have addressed it there, but they didn't. The other one is right guard. Mm-hmm. Patrick got beat today, and that's why Burrow got knocked down. I personally thought he looked okay in the game, not great. Which that's all I think we're going to get out of him is okay play. Scherf is still out there. there might be a reason he's still out there. I've thrown it out there that he's maybe older and doesn't want to go through a whole training camp. But we're getting toward the end of this thing, and nobody's still signed him yet. What's your thoughts on them actually adding somebody or getting Scherf?
Yeah, for whatever reason, they've liked the guard room. I'm not sure that you have to like the guard room or people watching have to like the guard room. They've liked the guard room. I'm not telling you that's correct. That's accurate, all those things. I do know they like Lucas Patrick as a run blocker. He does need to do a little bit better as a pass blocker, and you saw that a little bit the other night.
Right.
I think they've pretty much solidified him. I would have thought if Cody was going to get some snaps at right guard, it would have come earlier this week and let him maybe get a start in Washington to see what that looks like. I don't think that's going to be the case. Cody actually played left tackle today because Orlando Brown was not at practice. Right. And again, I wouldn't be alarmed by that. He wasn't. I'm guessing it was something.
Again, he wasn't on the rehab field. So.
No, and his car wasn't even at the facility. So I'm guessing that he got some permission or had to go do something else.
Right.
They allow that at vet days. He's been at every practice to this point, so he gets a vet day, I guess. I think they're trying to groom Cody into that swing tackle backup guard role that he served very well last year. It was perfect.
That's where I want him. I don't really want him starting.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of with you. So I get people's point on it. You want those 5 spots to be great, but back to Brandon Scherf, again, he's still on the street maybe for a reason. Maybe your point's the right one. If he's older to the point where, I'll sign with you. I'll sign with you the week of the game or something. I ain't doing this crap.
Right.
I don't know. He hasn't sounded enthused about playing football, but maybe in the right scenario, you're like, dude, you got a chance to go to a playoff team and maybe win a Super Bowl at this stage of your career.
Right.
Would that make sense? But I also go back to, if you were going to do something like this, and again, maybe he's the one balking more than the Bengals have balked talking to him, you get to a point where you've installed a lot of stuff already.
Yeah.
And now you got to get another dude up to speed as you get right close to the season.
It's getting late early.
It's getting late early. And that's where, again, sometimes out of necessity, you have to bring those guys in. I don't think we're at the necessity stage yet. You might get there. I mean, we might watch we might watch Lucas Patrick on Monday and go, oh, brother. Got to go some other route with this. I don't think it's there yet. I think I've had a lot of people clap at me because I said I didn't think he played awful. And did you watch the game? I did.
I mean, great. He played awful.
Correct. I mean, awful to me would have been on, whatever 10 pass attempts Joe Burrow had. Somebody was in his lap on eight of those pass attempts because of Lucas Patrick. He got flushed once. He got beat another time. Joe got the ball out quick. There was a blitz once. Joe got the ball out quick. Some of the stuff they designed was get the ball out quick, which is smart. You don't want him standing back there, on a 7-step drop against, another defense at this point in the game. So I didn't think it was awful. So let's let that marinate a little bit. I thought one interesting thing today was how Corwell Volson actually take some snaps at center.
Yeah, that was surprising to me. Has he ever? I don't remember him ever doing that. Has he ever done that before?
Not to my knowledge. He might have in the practice. I just didn't pay enough attention to, or maybe in season has done it. But no.
Which I mean, everybody's wanting to cut him. I'm like, they might not.
Or maybe that's what they're looking at, is to see, can you be versatile enough to play both center and guard? Because I think right now on a game day, you only keep up three backup offensive linemen up on game day, carry 3, and those guys got to be versatile. Cody Ford's obviously very versatile. There's one.
Rivers
is probably 2, and then whoever your backup center guard is, whether that's the kid from Ohio State or
that's who I think. I'll be shocked. I mean, if he's cleared, I mean, they had no chance of putting him on the PUP list, which it doesn't seem like they do. I'll be shocked if he doesn't make this team, because I love Ted Karras. It's no shit on Ted Karras, but that dude's his replacement. That's why he's there. He's damn good.
Yeah, as long as he had one bad snap today, and one that was actually a playable snap that Desmond Ridder dropped. But I mean, he hasn't practiced much because he's coming back from the Achilles injury, so give him some time. But I just wonder with the Volson thing of, all right, if we need to be versatile, so he's our center guard, Cody's our guard tackle, Rivers are our tackle guard, so we got a bunch of places covered. So if you get a goofy game where 2 guys get hurt, which doesn't happen.
Well, and Patrick, he could also play.
He can play
center too if you have to.
Correct. But then all of a sudden you got a bunch of moving parts, right?
Right.
Where you're taking the guard to center, and somebody else coming in the guard as opposed to just going, right, the center's out, let's put the center in. So I think it's a good idea to cross train those guys. I don't think that's a bad idea.
So I've liked Rivers since they drafted him, and call me crazy, but I think they can see. I thought they thought this at first, and then they kept playing him at right tackle, but now they're starting to put him back at guard. I'm not saying this year at all, but I think they might be looking at him as our future right guard next year. Do you think I'm crazy on that, or
No. I think they're trying to figure out what his best spot was. He has struggled at tackle, and some of it's he's gone against Shamar Stewart, and that's that's more,
understandable.
Kudos to Shamar Stewart, but yeah,
Right.
I do think to your point, guard might be his best position, and there is the potential plug and play for a Lucas Patrick. Of okay, this kid's done some stuff. We got a year under his belt. Maybe you bring another veteran in next year just as insurance, just in case, kind of a Lucas Patrick type, and say, Jalen, it's your job to win or lose, and we'll see if he does.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking here. I will get Dustin here's got a follow-up follow-up question here. Let's see. Let's go with this. You got two of them. I'll go with this one. Richard, with the new O-line coach, have you noticed any difference outside of teaching technique? The backup Eagles O-line Thursday compared to the Bengals backup O-line was light years away.
Yeah, the backups aren't the best. Yeah, I mean, there's a total different teaching technique. The run game is different. Scott Peters, the offensive line coach, is not in charge of the run game this year. Frank Pollock was. I think there was a lot of difference in philosophy there. I think that's where you're going to see the difference in the run game of, Frank fought hard for the wide zone, and it just,
didn't work.
It didn't work. And I don't think some of these guys felt like their skill set worked well in the wide zone.
They've been. I noticed this. Sorry to interrupt you, but I noticed this in training camp, and I noticed it Thursday night. They're running a lot to the left to Orlando Brown and Fairchild. That's the way a lot of the running game has gone. That I've noticed so far.
And it's funny, a couple of times today when even Chase Brown got handoffs going right, he bounced it quickly.
He went back left, yeah.
Which
I'm going that way.
It was pretty smart. No, I mean, his techniques are different. Obviously, I think the running game is going to be different. I think you're going to see back to some pin and pull stuff that they went to a couple of years ago by necessity. I just don't think the wide zone fits some of these guys. I know Kelsey Conway from the Enquirer talked to Marius Mims yesterday, and Marius even said, he goes, I'm just not comfortable doing that. That's just, and so again, if that didn't suit some of these guys' skill set, go to what does. And some of this, I think, is tied to the running back too. I mean, Zach Moss, it was the right thing to start him when he was here last year. He had skins in the game. He had more experience. But you saw the difference.
The year before, you thought he'd be a pretty good fit. So,
right. Yeah. But once Chase Brown got the chance, the run game looked different because of Chase Brown.
Yes.
And so I do think this. I think there were a lot of run game philosophies in that offensive room last year that didn't quite all mesh together. And I think that's why you saw the mess. I think you'll see that this year, that everybody, I think, is on the same page of this is what we want the run game to look like.
I think it's going to look a lot better. I can't remember if you were on the pod, or actually maybe you said this. Maybe I got this from you if you do, I agree with it. Chase Brown has a chance to get to James Brooks all-time all-time, if I can say this right, all-time yardage record. Yep. I think he's got a shot at it.
Yeah, it's like 1,763, which is about 100 yards a game. He averaged 120 yards from scrimmage per game last year in the 8 games he started.
Right.
That's not a small sample size, in my opinion. My only question for Chase is the durability. I mean, if you give him enough touches, is he durable enough to get through 17 games? And I don't think he is if you decide to go, we're getting him 25 to 30.
Right.
They're not, because they're going to throw it more. But again, and I think that's where you're seeing,
Taj Brooks
do some things as kind of, I think he's the main backup. Samaje is going to have the role Samaje has, whatever that is, third down, block, maybe short yardage stuff. But I think when you spell Chase Brown, it's going to be with Taj Brooks getting 5 to 7 to 10 touches a game. I really believe that.
Good too. I think I was excited when they got him. Gregory here has somebody for safety. What's your thoughts on this? Patriots safety Kyle Duggar, he might be available 6'2", 210.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on how you want to do it, because the Bengals like to play a lot of their safeties in different roles. There's not really any more a strong safety or a free safety. There never really was. I mean, Von Bill was built more like a strong safety than Jesse Bates, and Jesse Bates was built more like a free safety, but you saw them both occasionally come down in the box, do split safeties, do single high stuff, where one would walk down in the box. I don't mind Kyle Duggar, but again, I know this is going to sound terrible because everybody hates the front office, and I get it. I'm critical of the front office. I'm guessing they kicked the tires on a lot of these guys, and the returns have come back of it's not worth it. Again,
at least they don't think so.
Yeah. Again, if Justin Simmons has something in the tank, I guarantee you somebody of the 32's got to have a need, right?
That's the other thing you always got to think of. Like, he's out there for a reason. Like,
and there are different reasons of financial,
Mm-hmm.
of need, of necessity. I mean, there's always need, but there's also necessity. Like, you get 2 or 3 guys hurt. Oh crap, it's not a matter of we need. It's necessary we get these guys.
That's what's scary if we get a couple guys hurt in the safety room.
I'm with you.
That's part where I go back to this. I love it that the Bengals signed Noah Fant. To me, this is a non-Bengal move because they didn't have to do that.
No,
they would have been okay.
They would have been okay. And your point's right. But I do think they really liked what Eric All gave them.
Oh, yeah.
They were looking for that 3 down. They were looking for that 3 down tight end. Like, and I'm working on a story. I think a couple other people are too, because we talked to a bunch of different people about it. I talked to Drew Sam for a little bit today. The whole, so like Gesicki's the receiver, Hudson's a receiver, Grandy's a blocker, Sample's a blocker. They don't really have that 3 down guy. Well, Noah fills that void.
Yes.
But so how though, let's just say you put a Grandy and a Sample on the field at the same time. I talked to Drew about this a little bit of how do other teams not go, well, they're obviously going to run it because they got their 2 blockers on the field.
Right.
He said, well, yeah, that sounds right. He said, but we also have Jamar Chase on one side and T. Higgins on the other side and Chase Brown in the backfield. And so maybe we go play action and we both stay in and go max protect and send somebody deep. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, how many passes did Sample catch last year? He caught more.
20-ish. Yeah, 20-ish.
Yeah, that was, I don't know if it was career high, but that was
20-ish. Yeah, he caught 40 the year that CJ got hurt and he ended up having to start. But yeah, that's about his number is 20-ish. Yeah. But there are some things, and I think Zach was asked this the other day too. He said, there's sometimes like when we put guys on the field, and I don't think he mentioned my name, but he said he was talking about Gesicki. When we put guys on the field, we're literally telling you we're going to pass. He goes, I'm not going to lie to you. We're not hiding anything. We're going to pass.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, you can go, okay, well, crap, the pass group's on the field. But sometimes you can mix and match personnel. Like if you go 3 wide receivers and Mike's on the field, well, it's probably a linebacker or safety covering a Mike. Okay, good luck with that.
Right. Yeah, spread them out and you can pick your matchups up. I mean, who are you going to double? I mean, you got Jamar Gesicki out there and Chase Brown coming out of the backfield. Who the hell are you going to cover?
And I do think they've leaned into this 12 personnel stuff because they consider Mike a receiver. So technically it's still 3 receivers and a tight end. And you want to have that dual tight end. That was Eric All. Now it's Noah Fant.
And it gets you that matchup. It gets you that mismatch that you're looking for. So that's what it does.
And I'll be honest with you. I was kind of meh on the Noah Fant thing. And maybe I do this in my mind from a fantasy perspective. Like Noah Fant's never, ever, ever been on my fantasy football radar. Like never. And so I think in those terms, but then you look at his career, you go, okay, these are all solid. They're not going to wow you numbers. He doesn't stretch the field a ton. He can get down the seam some. But then, boy, when you watch him, and I know you have too, he's pretty athletic.
He is.
He's pretty fluid. He's more fluid than I would have thought. I thought he was kind of just a stiffish, but he's pretty fluid.
It also might be the quarterbacks he's played with too.
Well, maybe.
He's never played with he's played with pretty crappy quarterbacks, to be honest. Average quarterback, nobody big. I mean, Joe Burrow is going to put the ball in spots that nobody else can. So that helps him out right there to get farther down the field and get in different positions too. So,
and as you've seen, I mean, he loves the tight end. I mean, he
does.
He threw Tanner Hudson onto this roster, right? Mike Gesicki got paid because of what he did last year with him. Hayden Hurst, the 1 year he was here, did great things. Honestly, the only kind of turd that they've had over the last few years was Irv Smith, and it just did. There was nothing left in the tank, unfortunately, for that guy.
I mean, I remember arguing with people on this show going, people were like, oh, the Bengals and Joe Burrow don't like tight ends. Yes, they do. Yes, he does. Look what he's done for the tight ends they have. I mean, the list of tight ends that have come here and went somewhere else and got a bag because Joe Burrow threw him the ball is ridiculous. So, yeah, that's fine. I haven't heard that in a couple of years, finally.
Yeah, I mean, go back to even CJ. I mean, it was the last year of his contract, but he ended up getting paid because of the year he had with Joe Burrow. I mean, the only one that hasn't worked out has been Irv Smith. Everybody else has worked out just fine, including an unknown in Tanner Hudson. And now you add a Fant to that room. Fant starts for a lot of teams in this league. He probably starts for this team if you go 12 personnel. Again, it's all a matter of semantics. Yeah. He's going to get plenty of snaps. And I think they've kind of leaned. I think after last year when they saw what things were opened up when all was on the field with Gesicki and 2 other receivers, and that doesn't mean Andre's not on the field some or whoever else the other wide receivers are. I think they went, this gives us some blocking flexibility. This gives us run game flexibility. This gives us pass game flexibility. because Eric All, even as a receiver, showed some really good things as a receiver.
Right.
I mean, it sucks he got hurt, but okay, now you said, okay, we're not going to have him for this year, so let's find the 3-down replacement. Tag, you're it, Noah Fant.
Yeah, that's another one in this offseason. I'm like, I really want them to add a tight end who could be a 3rd-down or 3-down tight end because of the 12 personnel of how good it worked and how effective Eric All was. And I'm like, man, and that's where I'm like, that's where I keep going. As I keep going back to think, well, they didn't have to do it because I didn't think they were going to.
I didn't either because I'm with you. They didn't. I mean, they had 4 tight ends they could have rolled into the season with and probably been just fine. But you upgrade your room.
Yeah. Now let's get to Burton here, and I thought it was interesting. He's hurt, got swelling in the knee or whatever it is, but I'll ask your opinion. Do you like it that he tweeted out that I'm actually hurt and it wasn't basically that I didn't screw up? I'm legitimately hurt, and that's why I'm there. Do you like that for him to go out and clear the air, or do you think he'd just be quiet and do your job?
I would suggest be quiet and do your job, but at the same time, I get it. If you feel like you've done everything to right the ship, and this one day we all jump to conclusions, I'm going to.
But you're going to for what happened.
Yeah, I'm going to flip this here in a second. I understand that part of it, but I want to take you through the whole scenario of this. So he plays Thursday night.
Yep.
They're off on Friday. They come back and practice on Saturday. I don't know if you were there on Saturday night. It was Saturday.
I was on vacation. I was in Florida.
Good for you. It was from 2:00 to 4:00, and it was just blistering hot. Probably one of the 2 or 3 hottest practices of the season. Late afternoon.
Glad I missed it.
And it was a hard practice, and it was grueling. Yeah. And Noah Fant actually went out for a period of time where he was dehydrated, and probably the first hard practice he's been through, right? Because he's just barely signed.
Yeah.
And so Jermaine goes through that whole practice, late afternoon practice, right? They don't get out of there until probably later that night than normal. And so Sunday comes, and we're standing around, and one person goes, I don't see Jermaine. And so we start watching the wide receiver line. I'm like, oh, crap, you're right. So we go walk all the way over to the rehab field, which, as you know, is below the bridge where you go sometimes, and behind the stands. Yep. And I was assuming, okay, well, maybe he's hurt somehow. I don't know what he hurt because he practiced yesterday. I didn't see him get hurt. Go back to the rehab field. Don't see him. So we asked the media relations staff, can we talk to Zach? And so all of a sudden they scramble to go talk to Zach. And, finally they come out with a statement towards the end of practice of, it's an injury day to day. It's an undisclosed injury. And it can't help make you raise a red flag. Like, are you just coming up with this story because we didn't see him? And in fact, Zach even said, why I didn't know you guys would make a big deal of this. Well, you don't think
why wouldn't we?
Why wouldn't we?
Right.
And so, Monday, I think the first question I asked, I said, so when did he get hurt and what's he dealing with? Because we really don't undisclose injury, and they can continue that. They don't have to give us official injury reports until the regular season.
Right.
So sometimes it'll be, hey, soft tissue. Well, that usually screams calf or hamstring, whatever.
Right.
But sometimes it's specific just because it's specific, but very rarely is it. And they don't have to. They're not obligated to do that. I'm fine with that. He said, I think he got hurt in the Thursday game, and then he had some swelling, and then I'm thinking, so you think he got hurt in the Thursday game, yet he practiced on Saturday, and then he's not there on Sunday? And there's a part of me that still, I have to be skeptical about it. Like, if I'm in his shoes, and I'm just going to give you the other option. And if he's hurt, I hope that's all it is, and he comes back, because I want this to be the greatest redemption story ever, because I think it can be. I think a lot of us on the beat have written about it would be a great redemption story of this knucklehead rookie turns into an NFL, not superstar, maybe, hopefully does, but an NFL, a regular good NFL player.
Yeah.
And it would be a great story. And he's looked the part. I mean, I think I told you, he looked like a zombie last year. Like, literally, you look at his eyes and go, dude, are you on this planet? What is up with this? You just look exhausted. Now he looks, he's got a face to him, and you're like, okay, you look great. This is awesome.
And it's not just the haircut.
Correct. No, it's not just the haircut.
Yeah.
But so then this happens, and then so there's a part of me that goes, all right, if I'm a coach, and he showed up late on Sunday, and I was looking for an excuse because I don't know if he's here or when he's going to show up. He was in the locker room when we came back, so I mean, could he have showed up 10 minutes before? I don't know. Again, maybe it is a legit injury. I'm going to have to live with what they tell us because that's what they tell us.
And he hasn't been in practice since then. So
correct, but he's been on the rehab field the last couple of days. But here's the part to that. So as a coach, and let's just say he's late, and Zach's like, that's it. I can't. We're done. And yet maybe the people upstairs go, no, we still like him. Let's keep him around and make this work. And so then you're like, okay, now what am I going to do? Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put his ass on the rehab field and make him do a workout there and not let him take snaps in football and put some stuff on tape. Again, I'm probably completely off base with this. It probably is an injury. But just the way the whole story's unfolded, like he's got swelling.
That makes sense.
Well,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Swelling
right.
where? I mean,
right.
And he might have got hurt on the Thursday game. You think he got – did he? Okay, did he? And maybe it's just as simple as Jermaine did get hurt, went through the Saturday practice, didn't feel right, and goes, guys, I'm not right. The thing I've come back to everybody in the organization is on that Sunday, it would have just been easy to go, hey, listen, Jermaine came to us today and said he's hurt. He's not going to practice. Don't want you guys to freak out when he's not out here.
Right.
Okay. That's okay.
Yeah. As
opposed to the whole other side of it of, he's dealing with an undisclosed injury. That's all we got.
Right.
Okay. And again, I hope that's all it is. Because again, I want this to be a great redemption story. I think it's got a chance to be. And hopefully that's all it is. But if they continue to, again, this is an if they continue to allow that pattern of behavior where he's late or missing or whatever, this is not going to end well for anybody.
No, that's not at all. Which, I mean, like I said, hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's just an injury. And
yep, I hope it is too.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Yoshi, I think he said this has been his best camp. The touchdown, I didn't see it. Obviously, it was in the indoor practice the other day. But the touchdown pass to Burrow, great pass by Burrow, hits right in stride. Yoshi's there. I think Yoshi is going to have a big year to there, and he has solidified himself as the third wide receiver, just no matter what Burton is going to do or has done.
Yeah, I think he clearly is, but I go back to, how many snaps does he get because you're in 12 a lot?
Right.
I do think that, again, that becomes the other option of, you put Yoshi out there with the other two and Gesicki out there, and you go, hey, guys, it's 3rd and 5. We're throwing it, and I got 4 options and maybe a 5th if this cat swings out of the
Try to cover
field.
One of them.
Correct. No, and I think that's part of it. And, the guy who's obviously going to get the least amount of coverage is Yoshi, so he's going to have to win a bunch of one-on-ones, and I think he's done that to this point in camp. I'm with you. I think he's looked really – do I ever think he's going to be a 70-catch, 900-yard Tyler Boyd-ish guy? Probably not. Again, because, if they're leaning in 12 personnel, back in the day, I mean, when you went 11 because you had Tyler and T and Jamar, and Tyler was still at the height of his game, hell yeah, you'd lean into that. I mean, that makes all the sense in the world. But now, he's not Tyler Boyd, but he's good, and he serves a purpose.
I think he's gotten better at getting separation this year.
And that's
what I've noticed is the biggest thing for him.
And to that point, again, he doesn't need to get separation from 2 guys because 2 guys aren't going to cloud him.
Right.
2 guys are going to cloud number 1 and number 5. And so he does have to go win those one-on-ones. If he starts winning those more and more, or occasionally double move down the field, or occasionally you get lined up in the right spot where you're the guy down the field taking a play like he did in that indoor practice 2 days ago. And he's shown those things in camp. I think he's, to your point, I think he's had a really good camp.
Yeah, and he's going to be he's been this, but I think he's going to be even bigger red zone target because you just throw the ball up to him. You got 2 guys with him.
He's athletic.
Yeah, they can go up and go get it. So I mean that you can't teach. You either got it or you don't. And got it.
And that's one thing. I mean, he doesn't have like a ton of catches in his career, but the percentage of touchdown catches is pretty doggone high.
Yeah, exactly. All right, I'll get you out of here on this. The Reds scored a ton of runs yesterday. Day before that, scored 1 run. It's the same thing we've been seeing all year long. It's annoying.
It is. And I get baseball today is the 3-run home run game. I do. I understand that fully. But I think they have a roster of guys where can you hit and run a little bit more? Can you steal a little bit more? I think you can manufacture more than they do. They are terrible.
Why are they not? That's what the team's built for to do, and they're not doing it.
Yeah, they are terrible situational hitters, those two. I mean, like guy on third, less than 2 outs, they just have a hard time getting that guy home. And maybe that's just the luck of the draw at the moment. That evens itself out. If Hunter Green, who's pitching tonight as we're doing this podcast, if he comes back and stays healthy and maybe Chase Burns goes to the bullpen just to save innings, and boy, what a great electric arm that would be. I think they've got enough pitching to catch at least the Mets, if not another team in that wild card race.
I think the pitching, look, the pitching has never been the problem for me. I think we've got plenty of pitching. The defense has been a problem. I think they've
helped that.
They've helped him keep Brian Hayes. I think he's a Gold Glover. I think getting Marte out in right field. I think he's looked. I know he had the one goal under his glove the other day, but he threw Brian out.
He thrown 2 guys out at the plate, made a nice catch in the alleyway. Yes, the play the other day was ugly to watch.
The foul line where he jumped up and caught it. I mean, he's looked really good out there. My issue with that, I don't know why this is, but the guys who we expected to be power hitters. Now, you and me we like CES. That didn't work out.
And it did
But
not.
no, but Ellie's power hasn't been there. Steers is starting to come around. I know his is a shoulder. Marte starting to come around, but these guys who I thought were going to be more, I'm not saying 50 home run guys, but 20, 25 homers. We don't have a 20 home run guy on the team.
Yeah, I thought Ellie was at least a 30 home run minimum. He's hitting the ball great. I mean, he's going to end up with 100 RBI. He's going to end up with probably 120 runs scored. He's going to end up with a fabulous year.
Yeah.
Probably get to 25 homers if he gets hot, maybe more than that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's been weird to watch the power drought from him. But at the same time, then you watch him on nights where he blisters 2 singles to right field. And you're like, okay, 2 years ago or even last year, he's striking out on those balls.
Right.
So there's a happy medium there. I don't think he's cut back his swing. Maybe he's not trying to lift it as much. I don't know, but it's been odd.
Do you think the last couple of nights, I think he's swinging harder than he has been. Seems like the last couple of nights, he's trying to hit home runs to me more than he was before.
And I would like to see that as long as he's not just compromising strikeouts for that.
Right.
Because, he's a middle of the lineup guy that occasionally you need him to hit a single to left field or hit a single to right field. But it's just been odd because I just thought the natural – him making more contact, which he is, and you can see it. I mean, go to any great slugger in baseball history on Baseball Reference. Watch the guy go 22 home runs to 28 home runs to 35 to 40 to 40 to 40.
Right.
And those are great home runs. It's just a natural maturation process of the body. I mean,
right.
You're
probably, want to get stronger.
Your peak is probably 26 to 30, and sometimes maybe a little bit longer. So he's not there yet, but it felt like this guy was almost going to be, once he made contact, an automatic 30 to 40 home run guy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. I was kind of surprised. Just in general with this team, I thought Austin Hayes would hit a little bit more for us too than he has. And to me, that's been the biggest problem with this team is one, getting the big hit and just getting the power, which
and maybe that's what they were counting on of more home runs, and you just haven't gotten it. So maybe you need to play a little more small ball.
I don't think, like people said, that they've designed this team wrong. I don't look, if you're going to base it on pitching, defense, and then a lot of athletic guys, which means a lot of shortstop, which means you can move them other places. I'm okay with that. I like that. We just need that big bat in there. That's where nothing against Key Brian Hayes. I would have really liked to have Gino Suarez. That would have his bat in the middle line would be, and he plays not as good as Hayes does, but he plays pretty good third base. So plays pretty good
third base. Not as good, but pretty good.
That's the one I would like. But anyway, Skinny, I appreciate you, man. Go ahead and plug some stuff before I let you go, brother.
Yep, just Yanni Tregellis and I do a daily Bengals training camp podcast after each camp practice. Got all kinds of coverage and stories as well. Just go to local12.com/sports.
Yeah, thanks, Skinny. Appreciate it, brother.
You bet. Take care.
Yeah. All right, guys. As always, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Go check out the Skinny Podcast. Him and Yanni do a great job. They give you all the ins and outs of today's Bengals training camp. But as always, thanks for watching. I've been live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch. You can follow me on all those, along with Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. I will be pulling the sound off later on tonight, put it on the podcast. Do me a favor, check it out. And when you do, leave a comment and a 5-star review so more Cincinnati fans can find my podcast. I would greatly appreciate it. And shout out, of course, to my sponsors, great sponsors of the show, Priority Lawn and Landscaping. If you got any lawn or landscaping needs, grass mowed, shrubs trimmed up, flower beds mulched, flower beds cleaned out, paper patio, retaining wall, anything lawn and landscaping required, give Johnny a call at 513-430-6114. That's 513-430-6114. Also, shout out to T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And, of course, Meyer Window, Door, and More. Their website is meyercincinnati.com. You can get some energy-efficient, great-looking windows I have in my house. I highly recommend you get them in yours. Meyer Window, Door, and More. And, of course, my favorite brewery, the Moreline Lager House. We will be doing our tailgate for the second year in a row at the Moreline Lager House. We'll be doing it 3 hours before every single Bengals home game. We will also be doing road tailgate/watch parties. So if you guys are looking for a great venue to go watch the road games, come on down to the Moreline Lager House. We're going to have a great time down there. And keep this in mind, on the 9th of September, we are going to be doing, or Joe Burrow Foundation is doing the Dine for 9. Now, there are local restaurants listed that are participating in this. I will be doing a live show for 2 hours from 5:30 to 7:30 at Moreline Lager House. I'll have the great Jim Breach there. Joe Farsi will be joining me. I'll have hopefully other Bengal guests or other guests as well. Come down there and join us. Dine for 9, September 9th. So 9% of your purchase, the proceeds go to the Joe Burrow Foundation. So keep that in mind. And Dine for 9 on September 9th. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. And remember one thing and one thing only. And that is Who Dey for life. And that's just sports, baby. See ya!
Another great show. You guys still here? The show's over. You can come back tomorrow. I'm out of here. See ya.